On today's Moving the Chains, a season preview drill of one of our always favorite interviews, Coach Andy Poole with the Cheraw Braves.
Like you said, one of our favorite guests. I mean, he's been on here, more than most, and we welcome him every time. Excited to see what the Braves are going to do this year, coming off a very impressive season and a deep playoff run last season.
No doubt. Should be a fun bunch to follow. Once again, today, a season preview for the 2025 Cheraw Braves with head coach Andy Poole on Moving the Chains.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin' Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.
Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jerel Hendricks. Got a great interview today, a very special guest here for a 2025 season preview, and that's the head coach of the Cheraw Braves, Andy Poole. Coach, how you doing today?
Hey, guys, everything's wonderful. Just glad you guys had me again. It's always good to talk to you guys, and I appreciate all the work you do for across the state for these youth.
We appreciate your time as always, Coach. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more. Website, movingchains.com. Podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Poole will be heading to his 10th season with the Braves. They went 10-3 last season and won Region 4 2A before falling in the third round of the playoffs. Coach, I always like to ask this question. I think I know the answer already, but staff-wise, any shakeups this year for the Braves? Same guys in place? How's that looking for you?
Man, these guys done grown roots. They ain't going anywhere. This is the thing. I mean, Cheraw and a lot of surrounding smaller towns are towns where, guys have roots and, they're not looking to leave. We're not a stepping stone school. They come to stay, and these guys have been here forever, starting with Billy Amick, who's been here, 30 plus years. And, Jonathan Griggs is 22 and I'm there 23. And, we just got some guys who's been there a long time, and Coach Bird, the mayor, is still hanging around, and, we're a tight-knit bunch, and I guess we just like hanging out with one another.
Coach, the offseason's big for, a staff, kind of doing the self-scout stuff, kind of tweaking what happened last year. Obviously, you got some personnel changes, what we always have in high school football. You going to do any tweaking to those offensive, defensive schemes, or is it kind of we got our program in place, we're going to do what we always do? And if you don't mind elaborating on what you plan on doing this year.
I'll be honest with you. We're going to be who we are. I think we have packages depending on what team we play and what personnel we run out there. We're going to be out there running back, H-back, 3 wide. We're going to run right at you and play action and, see if we can get those linebackers creeping up in the box and head over the top. We need to. I mean, some teams give you the same look no matter what personnel. If you have 10 personnel, 11 personnel, 12 personnel. So, sometimes teams are who they are. But I don't think we change a whole lot. Like I said, we might put a wrinkle in here and there against who we play. But for the most part, our offense and defense is going to stay standard.
We mentioned that you guys had a nice run last year, a good run in the playoffs as well. What were maybe a couple things you guys really emphasized in the offseason to work on to make sure you make an even deeper run, kind of get over the hump this season?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We actually hired a strength guy this year, and Mr. Trey McClendon. He runs a local gym in Cheraw, and he's always trained local athletes. He'll train anybody. He's a great guy, and we hired him for the summertime, and he's come in and some of the things he does kind of makes you kind of look sideways, but, just because it's out of the ordinary stuff and all the equipment he uses, and, the kids really enjoyed it and bought in, and they've got kids. I told Kelvin Roller this. I said, we have 10 to 12 kids that look like they should be playing for Dillon. We just have those kids that look the part. So it's paid off for us, and, the kids really enjoyed it.
Coach, this is kind of off of your preview, but I want to ask you as someone we trust, how do you balance the, your strength program with a lot of the training stuff that a lot of kids do individually, outside of, what you guys implement?
Well, this is the thing, as long as they're working out, we don't have a problem with them going elsewhere, but we want them to be with us team wise. whether, you're doing our complete program or doing some of the core stuff while we're doing, plyometrics and stuff like that, I have no problem with that. You're getting work in, you're getting you're going extra, and I'm not going to be upset with that. But I want you to be with us for the team part of it, so we can, gel together and you get the core stuff done. If you want to do extra and above and beyond, you go right ahead. But don't miss our stuff for your stuff, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Coach. So throughout spring practice, 7-on-7, and even now into, I guess, the first few days of fall camp, what have you learned about this group that makes you excited about this team here in 2025?
I'll be honest with you, this is probably our most athletic team we've ever had. And that's not to take anything away from our past guys, because we lost a lot of talent, but position by position, we are very athletic. Might not be the biggest, but, athletic, quick twitch guys, we have a ton of those. We're going to look good in pads. We're going to fly through the football, and I'm very excited to see these guys run around this, coming up Thursday, because, we got a 5-team scrimmage, and it's going to be exciting.
Coach, we actually caught up with one of them, but our program's all about highlighting the players. Can you name some special guys that we should be on the lookout for, and who you expect to lead this team?
Well, I mean, our leaders are who have been in the last couple of years is our 27 class. Talking of our 26 class, Caden Thomas, our quarterback has come leaps and bounds of where he started off. I mean, last year in the non-region, of course, we played a very tough non-region schedule, but we got in the region. I think he finished up with 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, and those 2 interceptions were tip balls. So, I mean, he's going to be our leader. He's had a very good season, but the people around him, I mean, Nick Gordon, Slick Isaac, Justin Joint, our running back, Jaquel Fields, running back, Kamari Q had a great summer. Cam Myers has come on. He looks like he's been chiseled out of marble. We got guys. This is going to be all over the place as far as skill guys. We can just put it into the flats and let guys run. We actually have a guy who's playing football for the first time this year. His name's Jihad Lee. If he'd have been playing 3 years, he'd already have offers. There's no question in my mind. And he's going to be a guy, when coaches watch us on film, they're going to say, where did this guy come from? He just needs to get the schematics down, and he's top 3 athlete out there. And like I told him, if he gets his assignments down, everything else will take care of itself.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it briefly a second ago, but what are some scrimmages and jamborees you guys have lined up? Is that's where we're kind of headed next, I guess, here in the off season?
Well, this Thursday we have a 5-team scrimmage in Cheraw. It's us, Buford, Latta, Lancaster, and East Clarendon. And then we host a game-like scrimmage between us, Lamar, and Lakeview. And then we go to Pageland's having a county jamboree, and we're going to face Trinity Collegiate in that. So, we're going to see what we are before we even get to our first game.
Coach, this is something I like to ask whoever we have on the program. It is how you balance your non-region schedule. I mean, and you have a difficult one: McBee, Marlborough County, Conway, Darlington, and River Bluff. What is your strategy going into that? Is it, hey, we want to just see where we are and early on in the season before we get into the region contest, or what do you kind of look at when you construct that every 2 years or so?
It's 100% wanting to know where we are. I don't want to play 5 teams I know I'm going to beat and have a false sense of security about who we are and get into the region and get slaughtered or get knocked on our tail and have to figure out what's going on. I want those guys to hit us in the face early so we can rebound, fix things before we get to the region, and those games will be somewhat comparable to us instead of getting overpowered by – I'll be honest with you, when you play River Bluff and the Marlborough County team from last year, those teams off a hoof are like a small college team. They're just, our kids walked into River Bluff, all their cell phones up in there. They was filming everything like we was at the Oscars. It was unbelievable. But I like playing teams like that because I'm going to play teams like that to get experience. A lot of coaches want wins. I want experience.
Last season, Coach, you guys are one of the favorites in Lower State 2A going to the playoffs. You had a nice run there before losing in the 3rd round to Barnwell on the road by a point. How have your guys used that as motivation this offseason to get ready for 2025?
Well, I think they've seen just how close they've been to being able to take that next step into championship games. If you win that game, of course, you play for Lower State. And, of course, after Lower State, it's state. So I think we have been on the cusp of, breaking out. We lose to Woodland 2 years ago by, a point and went 4-2 on overtime. Just we've always been real close. And I think this crowd we've got right now is, want to take that next step. And athletically, we're there. We just have to, get our big boys up front right, because considering we graduated all 5 last year. But, if we get those guys to be an average group, we're going to be an above-average team.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
All right, Coach, we're going to ask you a couple easier ones before we let you go today. Obviously you got a background in baseball coaching that as well. I want to ask you before we get into it, I had my eyes on this Bristol game. Were you able to check out the Bristol Speedway exhibition with the Braves and the Reds?
I have not.
Okay, so it was an absolute disaster. How do you feel about it? Was quite terrible. How do you feel about these exhibition games in MLB? And what do you think about how they market their stars? Because it just seems like baseball, and I'm shifting from football, has kind of fallen to the wayside in pro sports.
Well, the problem with baseball is they've priced themselves out. When you have guys playing for $500 million and getting hurt with an ingrown toenail and sitting out 2-3 months, you're telling me all I need to know. I mean, the purity of sports went to the wayside a long time ago when we started paying all these people, paying these guys money based off potential and not, results. I think everything should be statistics based. I think everything should be performance based. And look, you get hurt or, go into a slump, you owe me money. I'm giving you money up front for what could happen. What about you give me money for what's happening? So, it is what it is, but, they're having to market all this stuff, like a Savannah Bananas. I mean, that's not baseball at all. It is the Harlem Globetrotters on a diamond. And, it's great fun. And, people are paying tons of money to go watch these guys play. And props to them. They found their niche in, the sports world. And best of luck to them because they're really good athletes. But let's just be honest. It's a little bit different than pro baseball. But, I mean, it is what it is. And they found their niche, and congratulations to them. But you're exactly right. I just think some of these sports are having to, find ways to be relevant. And I think they've done it to themselves.
Last one for you, Coach. Back to the football side here. What are some goals you guys have for the Strawberries for 2025?
Oh, well, the goals stay the same. The only thing that changes is the faces. We want to win the county championship because we play Chesterfield, McBee, and Paisley, and we want to win our region. You win your region, you're going to set yourself up for a pretty good seed in the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure that our thing stays the same this year. And the number 1 seed will go down to the lower state. And, wherever we end up, upper state, lower state, I think if we can stay healthy, which was our Achilles heel last year, I think, we got a chance to make some noise.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go follow Coach Poole and the Braves on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids and their program. Like I mentioned, follow us on all social media at Movin Chains, website movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jerel, anything else, Coach? Let him go today.
Man, Coach Poole, we just thank you every year for coming on now. We're going to have you on next year probably as well because you keep telling us about this, this amazing class of 27s that have really led your program. And obviously they're going to be back next year, but you're going to do some fantastic things this year. And we'll also have to talk, off air. You keep telling us that Cheraw is Culinary, Institute now. We got a bunch of restaurants there. We still got to make our way down to the area, but we thank you again for your time as you get prepared for the season.
Oh, absolutely. Our 27 kids, I'm going to be honest with you, the coaches around the county and area know exactly, who they are. Crawford Poole, Anthony Strong, Justin Joint, Nick Gordon, Slick Isaac, Terrence Blackman, Brendan Pace, Austin Adams. We have a roster of 27 kids that anybody in the state would love to have. And I feel like every time we take the field, we're going to have 5 or the 6 best players on the field, no matter, who we play, because who they are. And they're great kids. They're all 4.0 students and, 3 sports students, and we're looking forward to seeing them play. And, they're getting noticed now with college, got a lot of college attention, and it's well warranted because they're great kids and great players, and they're going to be a instant, a success at the next level. So, you guys need to come on down and come see us. And, You come down to see us and play Nick Dixon and Cheraw, and y'all come down the night before. We'll put you up and get us something good to eat, and we'll just have us a grand old time.
Well, looking forward to it, Coach. Appreciate you as always, and best of the season, all right?
Absolutely, guys. If y'all need something from me, y'all let me know.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.